If you've not watched the latest edition of the NFL show on our dedicated talkSPORT YouTube channel, talkSPORT USA, we are doing our new format, 5 in 5. But sometimes you need to spill over the 5. Sometimes you need the talkSPORT NFL show extra time, and that's what we're in now. Because, Brian, Micah Parsons, we did a lovely reaction video immediately afterwards. We've talked about that game, opening game on Thursday night. But there's one particular facet of this that's been slightly bizarre, is the leadership on the team of the Cowboys beyond Micah Parsons, who already apparently nobody really liked that much, we're suddenly hearing. They're quite happy to have him out of town. Where's Dak Prescott been? Searching for him high and low.
We're writing about this morning live at talksport.com. Have it at talkSPORT USA on our socials. I'm blown away that this time last year, Dak Prescott was getting this, right before the start of the season, this monster deal, highest paid. So you're the highest paid quarterback in the NFL by average annual value, $60 million a year. He doesn't finish the season. He has a major injury, ligament torn off the bone. Dak Prescott has ultimately always disappointed when it matters. He is their franchise quarterback. Was not a top pick. He's made his career. He's had shortcomings. He's had off the field issues. He's had struggles. He's had some tragedy in his life. I want to root for Dak Prescott. I want to like him. He's got a really great story. I have a serious problem when you're supposed to be about winning the division, winning in the playoffs, winning the Super Bowl, all of those things. Everyone in the world knows that it only, for Dallas, it doesn't matter if you don't win the Super Bowl. And Dak Prescott is just nowhere to be found. And he's interviewed last week, and he's like, I'm sure it'll work out. I've been through this before. I feel like anybody else who wanted to win the Super Bowl, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, even Aaron Rodgers can be outspoken, Lamar Jackson, every franchise quarterback, even if you don't like the guy, you would know that is Micah Parsons. That is the best or one of the best defenders in the NFL. He is a Swiss Army knife. We are going nowhere without him. Dak Prescott should have been saying stuff, and then when he's actually asked about it, he's like, well, I'm not surprised. We like Kenny Clark. I can't say that we'll be better this year. So Dak Prescott acknowledges he doesn't even think they're going to be better this year. Where is the leadership there from your $60 million quarterback, Will?
The prime example, and this is a man who I would say, if you've watched Quarterback on Netflix, you don't necessarily see as a big rah-rah guy. You don't necessarily see him as this outspoken leader type,
I know where you're going,
getting the huddle going. But who did speak out for his temeats numerous times
Joe
against
Burrow.
terrible ownership is Joe Burrow. And look, the Browns, the ownership, the Browns of the Bengals, which has always confused me. But the Browns as a family like to keep their money in their pockets, like to pay guys late, don't like to get ahead of the market, no matter if they've improved time and time and time again.
But they still paid Trey Henderson, man.
But they still paid Jamar Chase. They still paid T. Higgins because Joe Burrow went on radio, went on podcasts, went on TV, and basically became the GM. He went, we can afford these guys. My contract has void years you can push into. The other guys have void years we can push into. We can keep all these three guys. We have to keep all these three guys. We're not a contender without keeping all these three guys. And he went out and he spoke out on them. And guess what? Even though it was a bit of a mess this offseason, everyone's still on the team. They saw that their superstar quarterback, who they're paying $60 million a year to, was desperate for those people to stay, and they went, we need to keep him happy. We're never going to win a chip without him. Why wouldn't Dak Prescott do the same?
Dak Prescott looks like he's afraid of upsetting Jerry Jones because Dak Prescott knows that it all runs through Jerry Jones. So your offense is good enough to win 10 games. Your defense is one of the worst defenses in the NFL. You lose your star player. The guy that you bring back is a Pro Bowler who's not an all-pro. He's not elite. He's not a game changer. None of it makes any sense from a franchise, and that's my problem. You want to debate the trade and who wins, we'll find out in a few years. But if I'm the franchise quarterback, the Dallas freaking Cowboys, how can you not say we have to have this guy this year? And if we're going to trade him, we have to get players back, multiple players, Will, who help our team this year. Dak Prescott had nothing to say, and this has always been the problem with him. The critics of Prescott have always said, he's good. He puts up good numbers. He's just good. He's not great. He's not close to elite. And he's only trailed off in the last few years. And I look at the off-the-field leadership right now Doesn't look like to me like Dak Prescott really wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to say it. He doesn't want to actually do it.
And it is slightly fascinating to me from a perspective of, I'm a Dak Prescott defender. Everything you said about him at the beginning, I think he is one of the best pre-snap quarterbacks in the NFL. He was an MVP candidate 2 years ago for very reason. I think he comes back this year healthy and has a very good season and shows it on the field. And I think he's as close to Peyton Manning in terms of how he processes the game as we have in the NFL nowadays. Like, that's the level that I really think this guy can be at. If you put Dak Prescott on a reasonably run football team, I don't need it to be a team that is run as well as the Philadelphia Eagles, who seem to just pluck these mysterious players out of nowhere and amazing value and have guys drop them and everything else. He doesn't need to be the Ravens. It could be somebody like San Francisco, who are a bit shambolic at times but still have a lot of talent, or like that kind of mid-tier of ownership. If he was there, he should be a guy who's pushing for Super Bowls. In Dallas, it's not happening for him, so I do feel a little bit bad for him at 32 years old that he's never really been supported.
He's 2-5 in the playoffs. You're much higher than him than I am. I really liked Dak a few years ago, but if I am a fan of the Cowboys, not only am I devastated by the Parsons trade, I know that my owner basically quit on the season. I know that my franchise quarterback didn't have my team's back when he had to have it. How can you sell to me the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl this year when they let Micah Parsons go for basically nothing for the future? The only upside in that trade are the future first-round picks, which are going to be at the end of the first round, but you can package those to get something better. I need Dak Prescott saying, I have to have my best defender on the field for week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not against the Indianapolis Colts.
And it's all well and good for all these players to tweet sad emojis like Deron Bland.
I'm so tired
when
of
it's
that.
like great. I didn't hear you talk about it before he left the organization. Patrick
Mahomes does not let his best defender go 4 games before the season. That does not happen with the Chiefs. That happens with the Cowboys because Jerry runs it, and Dak is afraid of upsetting Uncle Jerry.
All right, that's our thoughts. Like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do the Cowboys have a leadership problem? At talkSPORT USA across all of our social channels, Facebook, Twitter, and of course here on YouTube. And don't forget the kickoff game, live and exclusive on talkSPORT.